Hey Yappers, welcome back to Binge Yap Repeat. Today, we welcome back Poonim to the potty to talk about Better Late Than Single Season 2, as well as the after-service special that dropped on August 1st, 2026. Poonim and I yap about where the matched couples are now, how things should have gone differently, and take our own version of the dating IQ test. Buckle in because our episode starts now. Welcome back, Yappers, to another episode of Binge Yap Repeat. I'm your host, Ruchi, and we have a special guest with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Poonim, and I'm back for round 2.
That's right. Season 2 of Better Late Than Single. Shalini couldn't join us today because she can't speak Korean as well as we can. She's not as fluent.
Yep, that's the reason.
That's the reason.
It.
Which is relevant because Better Late Than Single is a Korean dating reality show about eternal singles who have never been in a relationship before. The cast is composed of 6 men and 6 women who go through a 6-week makeover period where they are paired up with a celebrity Cupid as a mentor and then live together for 9 days in Jeju where they pursue romance with each other. Season 2 premiered on Netflix on July 7th, 2026, and concluded its 10-episode run on July 28th, with the reunion titled After Service, then releasing on August 1st, 2026. And that one was 6 episodes of 25 minutes each, so there is a lot of content here to cover. Okay, let me just recap the finale. We had 2 couples that eventually matched with each other over the course of these 10 episodes. So I figure we'll just start with the first one and then we'll move on to all the other contestants. Okay, so let's start with Hyuk-Joon and Hyun-So. Hyuk-Joon is a 31-year-old. He works in marketing or something. And Hyun-So is an art curator, and she is 27. Poonim, what is your summary of Hyuk-Joon and Hyun-So?
Quite the roller coaster of emotions. I think they burned bright and hot the first few days, and then I feel like it was just miscommunication after miscommunication. And then he decided to just go on a tour of all the ladies in the villa. And then, I think Hyun-So had like a bit of a crash out and gave him like just a little baby ultimatum. And then he realized, oh, this is the one that I want to do the final selection with. So that's like a summary of their journey in the village, but there's a lot to unpack here.
Right. So I guess like in the first 3 or 4 episodes, Hyun-So and Hyuk-Joon kept getting paired with each other and kept going on these like random dates with each other. So Hyuk-Joon was like, "Oh my God, this is fate. Like
Fate.
This woman is my soulmate." And then they started dating, or not started dating. They like were supposed to be like a done deal in the eyes of the other contestants. And then Hyuk-Joon started going on dates with all these other women. So why do you think that is?
Yes, they had all of the dates where they were like randomly paired together and that worked out super well. So I think he in his mind just formed this attachment with all of these expectations. And then when Hyun-So, I think, fell short of those, he was just like, well, let me just explore some of these other opportunities because all these ladies seem into me. And then I kind of think it went to his head a little bit, just like how much attention he was getting.
I think
because
so,
like even in the after service when he was just like, I was possessed. I was like, yeah, you kind of were. It's very strange. Yeah, so I think that he was just like, oh, well, if she can't meet these standards or whatever, then I'm just gonna like talk to whoever else. But then it was crazy because he had like 4 women and then he decides he like hits it off with Suji. And I was just like, brother, manage your own pool of potential partners better because everyone's like, oh, I thought but
Yeah, I agree. I did think he had like really high expectations for Hyunso, and she didn't notice that he had a know that he sent her a gift, and so he was like, "Is she not into me?" And then meanwhile, Hyunso is like, I shouldn't tell him that I got a gift from potentially another man. So I don't know. I feel like Hyunso was just strategizing weirdly, and then Hyuk-Joon was also putting way too much expectations on Hyunso.
Yeah, I do think that Hyunso was like trying to play not like games necessarily, but yeah, like strategizing. Because in retrospect, I was like, I thought that she should have just told him that she got the tumbler, and then it would have been fine. Even if she thought it came from someone else, because I think it also shows that like other people are interested in her, you know? So I feel like
Yeah.
that was one. I think the cold thing was another. I could not understand why he just got so fucking mad about the other woman,
Jong-un.
Jung-un giving gifts to like two guys. Like that sent him off the edge. And I was like, brother, these are like little stuffed animals or like a bottle of vitamins. Like this is
They
not
are
that
life-giving
serious.
supplements, Poonim.
I mean, in Korea, I'm sure they have probably the best of the best. So maybe
They're God's
you're right.
nectar. Yeah, this man's love language is absolutely 1000% gifts. Like, he
Yeah.
puts so much importance on the gifts. It was crazy. Although, all of these excuses that he was making about why he wasn't going to pick Hyunso for a date, out of all of the excuses, I do think one of them actually did resonate. So he said that, oh, whenever I talk about my hobbies, like hiking, because hiking is apparently all this man does. He's like very into hiking. Hyunso will be like, oh, I don't like walking along the Han River because there's a lot of mosquitoes, or like, oh, I don't like doing this, or like, I don't like doing that. And it was basically like almost every single hobby that he mentioned. And so I think from that perspective, it kind of made sense that he was like, oh, like Hyunso's not really into my hobbies, or like she's giving a negative perception about all of the things that I really like. So either she's not interested in me, or this relationship doesn't have legs because she doesn't have the same hobbies that I do. So I'm gonna like look at these other women. And I think when he said that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense actually. So I feel like he's just really not interested in Hyunso at all. And so he's gonna now pursue these other women.
Yeah, I mean, I also just think that was kind of maybe a product of the way that it was edited. Because we don't see if he's like, hey, do you like going to XYZ? And then she's like, no, I don't. Because I feel like if somebody asked me that straight up, I'd answer honestly, right? Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
true.
Right. And so I feel like they cut together her saying she doesn't like going to the river because of the bugs, which relatable. She's not super duper into hiking. And I'm like, sure, yeah, I mean, I've got a ceiling on that too. Um, but I feel like they got along on like, wasn't there like a conversation about because she's a gallerist and he does marketing and likes to go to like exhibitions and like shows. So I feel like there was probably other stuff that they were like, oh, this is actually, but it kind of fits his narrative of being like, oh, well, she's just negative about everything that I like. And I'm like, well, you showed us two things and you guys have like 4 dates at this point.
That's a good point. Yeah, he did say that he really likes going to exhibitions, and she would absolutely go to exhibitions with him. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting though, because when he came back to Hyunso at the end, he was like, "Oh yeah, I actually realized that having the same hobbies isn't important." And then I was like, "Wait."
That sent me over the edge because he was like, no, I think verbatim, or I guess not verbatim because I don't speak Korean, but
Yeah,
the
no,
subtitles
say it verbatim.
No,
Say it verbatim.
all right, here we go. He was just like, oh, I realize that I can share hobbies and have a good time with my friends. And I was like, wow, local man discovers the most obvious thing in the world. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, so you're just justifying every single action you take here. Okay.
He was like, wow, I just realized this. I was like, bravo.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think Hyuk-Jun redeemed himself in the end by choosing Hyunso?
I mean, I guess as much as you can, given the situation and like how much time they had, like the fact that they chose each other, I kind of just feel like I don't know, not like defaulted to her, but it was like, I'm just gonna pick her because I know that she is like for sure 100% gonna pick me. He doesn't seem like that calculated, but I feel like just the way he acted in like the middle set of those days, I was like, this guy's ego just fucking inflated. And I was
Yeah.
like, I think he's gonna do whatever it takes to be like, I'm gonna protect my pride and how I'm perceived.
So in the after service special, they had a conversation, a private conversation, private in quotes. There were cameras everywhere,
Yeah.
or it was just the two of them, again, in
Yeah.
quotes. Um, and Hyun-so tells Hyuk-Joon that she thought that he chose her solely because of how it was going to play out on TV. So she was saying that, like all the women all talk to each other after these dates, and it wasn't like you were not interested in them. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it wasn't just oh, I'm gonna have a one-on-one conversation with them. It was like you were on a date with them. And so from that, like it's fine to go on dates with these other women, but then I just assumed that that meant you were not interested in me. And so when you did choose me at the end, I thought it was because of how you thought you were going to be perceived on TV. And so I was like, oh, okay, he's just going to choose me because we can match at the end of this TV show, but he's not actually interested in me as a person. And then
Yeah.
Hyuk-Jun's response to that was, well, if that were the case, then I wouldn't have gone on all these dates with women in the first place. I would have just like stayed with you if I thought about how I was going to play on TV.
Yeah.
And so then he also said in the conversation that I really want to find love. And I think in order to find love, you need to find it not on a TV show, but how you act when you're in Seoul and not on this TV show.
Yeah.
So we should continue this conversation in private.
Yeah. I
How did
mean,
you feel about that?
it kind of left me a little confused. It just felt a little like underwhelming, the conversation, because like I don't think that he's as calculating a person to be like, I need to protect my reputation because I'm going to be on TV. But I do think that there was a little bit of a, because like he literally every single day, every time he went on a date with another woman, he was just like, oh, like they're my top choice. And like even the Cupids were saying that his top choice changes with the winds, as he has like the recency bias of talking to women. And
I felt like a lot of men on this show had the recency bias.
Yeah, right? And so if I had to guess, I think for him, the fact that Hyun-so, yes, basically told him straight up that was like, listen, if you just keep going on dates with these other women, like I'm out. That's it. Peace. And I think he was like, no, I don't want to lose that. So then he was like, okay, I'll cut them loose and then stick with you. But I feel like that just came out of fear of like losing the one person who gave him attention since the beginning and was like the most consistent with it. Because he still even was just like, oh, I was so disappointed she never got me a gift. I was like, okay. Okay. Brother.
If you were in Hyun-so's position, how would you react to all of this?
I mean, probably pretty similarly. I don't think anything she did was like out of inappropriate. It was an appropriate reaction, in my opinion, just like how she felt, where it's just like, yeah, this guy's seems super into me. He's over here talking about fate and stuff. And then overnight, he suddenly become really cold and started seeing all this other women. I would be like, what? Like,
but would you stay as patient as Hyun-so did?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. To be fair, I feel like there wasn't anybody else that she was even remotely interested in. So I feel like I would just kind of be like So-yoon, who is just kind of like vibing in the village because there was like no one she's really interested in.
Yeah.
So I feel I feel like that would have been me. That being said, like the fact that she was this patient, she has more patience than I do.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate the fact that she just told him straight up, like, I'm not gonna like wait for you forever. So
Yeah. I really liked how she was super honest.
yeah, she's very blunt. Like, that's what I appreciated about her, because she's so straightforward and she's so blunt and she's not beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Except when she was like kind of trying to play games about the Tumblr, and I was like, all right, we don't need to be doing all that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I think there are two things I would do differently than Hyunso. I think if I were in her position, one, I would be honest about the Tumblr. I would be like, yeah, I got this gift. I don't know who it's from.
Was
and
it
then,
you?
Yeah, he would be like, it's for me. And I'll be like, oh. But then the second thing that I would do differently is if Hyuk-Joon started going on different dates with other women, I would be like, okay. And then I would probably also start going on dates with other people, even though I wasn't interested in them.
Yeah.
I would go on dates with them. I would escalate the situation that way.
Wasn't there, in season 1, the woman that was like, she really only had like one prospect, and then he was interested in somebody else, and then she just kind of became like everybody's like friend / older sister type role, like giving advice and stuff.
I think Minhyung, right?
Yes, yeah.
Who made a special appearance in the after service part. Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, like I figured that would just kind of be like, if there's nobody else that I was interested in, I would just go spend time with everybody just because I can, right?
Yeah, so that's true.
Yeah, I would agree.
I kind of thought Hanju was going in that direction too, a little bit.
I did too.
Okay, let's wrap up Hyuk-Joon and Hyunso, and then we can start talking about Hanju. What's your confidence level in them? Do you think they will actually meet up outside, start a relationship? What's your prediction?
I feel like they would meet up outside, but I don't think that they're like soulmates. I don't think it's gonna go any farther than that, to be completely honest. Because like you said, like, it's how they behave in the real world and not in this, enclosed village in Jeju where there's no other responsibilities or like constraints on your time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There were a couple of highlights from their time together that I just wanted to appreciate explicitly when they're having their discussion and they're walking around the village. Why are they walking so fast? They were just booking it back and forth, and I was like, this is a serious conversation. We don't need to be like power walking from one end to the other.
I think it was because there was a lot of things, when you really have a lot to say and you're just like, I don't want to put this forceful energy in my speech, so I'm going to exert it through my body. And I'm going to make my body language angry, but my words will be professional.
That was wild. And like, even the way the camera was set up, you just see them like zipping back and forth. And I was like, even the cameramen were like, Jesus Christ, slow down.
Yeah, they were running.
They were basically running.
Yeah, I feel like they will meet up outside. I don't know. I think there's a part of me that actually does wish that they can date for real. But there's also a part of me that's like, Hyuk-Joon is kind of a beige flag in terms of, I think some people will think he's a red flag, 100%. And he definitely does have a little bit of an ego problem. But I don't know. I guess I think some women do like that. And like, I don't know how much of this is Korean culture versus not. I think Hyunso may like that he has a little bit of an ego because it does translate to high confidence. So who knows? Maybe they will work out.
I do kind of wonder though if like the newfound fame after the show has come out is also going to impact, like, because I feel like we saw in the village when like 2 other women showed their interest to him and he just like lost his goddamn mind. So I'm sure there's going to be quite a few like super fans that are going to be like all over him and he's just going to just eat it up. And I think it's going to affect whatever potential relationship they have going forward.
I think that's true, but I think Hyunso will be equally as popular, if not more popular than Hyuk-Joon.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think so, because I think Hyunso has an air of maturity and calmness that I feel like is very attractive. And
I just feel
I-
like it doesn't go to her head, though.
and it
You know
doesn't
what I
go to her
mean?
head, yeah. And I also feel like on Hyuk-Joon's side, I feel like he does have a little bit of an ego, but the fact that he is an eternal single is probably in the back of his mind. So even if he does date other women or like wants to go on dates with other women, if they are not eternal singles, he'll probably be like, wait, I have less experience than she does. And I think that will affect him a little bit.
Mm.
So my theory is that Hyunso will, in the end, be more popular. Yes, keep Hyuk-Joon
Keep
humble.
Hyuk-Joon humble, 2026.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add to them?
Oh, I just thought it was wild when they did the 3-way date and he like basically just gave all of his attention to Hanju and they're like, let's go to IKEA. And I was like, this is the date? This is
Yeah.
okay.
I feel like that him spending so much attention on Hanju was actually him trying to ignore his feelings for Hyunso.
I took it as like a more deliberate, like, I'm trying to get a reaction out of Hyunso.
Yeah, but I think it was not about Hanju, and it was more about his relationship with Hyunso.
But then afterwards in his confessional, he was just like, Hanju was actually like my ideal type, and the Cupids were like,
bruh.
Like, I think there was one moment where he said something just so ridiculous, and all of them just like stood up and just like walked around in like silence for a second.
But I feel like that is him being in denial of his own feelings. I think he's saying these things out loud to justify his actions without thinking about why he's doing them. Which I think is very stereotypical of an eternal single.
I could see that. I think I'm just a little skeptical of like him and like what he actually wants in general. Like, I don't even think he knows. And he's just like, yeah, hey, she's into me. Let's do that. Oh, she's into me too? I must be hot shit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's like a combination of recency bias and like low self-esteem. Because I feel like if you have low self-esteem, you're easily manipulated by external factors like this.
Yeah. For him, it was 100% recency bias. Like, whoever he went on a date with that day, he was like, yep, that's her. She's my top pick. She's my ideal type. And I'm like, these are like 4 very different women. Like, very different. Yeah. But okay. I'm happy to move on because he, I mean, there was a lot to unpack with him, but
yeah,
we have a whole other couple to get to.
That's why we started with him. Hoping for the best, Hyuk-Joon and Hyunso. Korean yappers, if you have any updates on where they're at, please let us know. Actually, that goes for all of these couples.
And not just Korean yappers. Any yappers.
Any yappers. TikTok yappers.
Yes, TikTok yappers. Yeah. The TikTok sleuths. Let us know.
Okay. The next couple that matched in the finale was Jinwoo and Hanju. So just as a reminder, Jinwoo is 26. He was a game changer. He dated someone for a year, but they had never actually met. So that's why he's considered still to be an eternal single. And Hanju is a Korean medicine doctor. She is 27. And she has just never dated anyone because I think she tends to drink a lot on dates and then get really aggressive and have no filter. Love Hanju. So we found over the course of the series that Hanju was pretty steadfast in picking Jinwoo. Like every single day it was like Jinwoo. And Jinwoo kind of went back and forth between Jungwon and I think Suji was in the mix at some point, but Hanju was never in the top 1 or 2.
Yeah, like the people that he was interested in, he said weren't interested in him.
Yes.
Yes.
And then he ultimately, I think in the last 2 days, decided to start actually focusing on Hanju, who is pretty steadfast in her commitment to him.
Yeah.
And then they ended up matching in the end.
Yeah.
What did you think about their relationship?
I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, we heard after the after service. It's not that I don't like them as individuals. I just think that Jinwoo has a lot of work he needs to do on himself and his self-esteem. Like, he will be on dates, like that 2-on-1, and he just makes himself smaller. Like, he automatically assumes that because a woman is interested in somebody else, that like it's something to do with a problem he has. Like, he has no self-confidence. The number of times that Hanju was just like, "You are so handsome," and he's just like, "No," and like you can tell that he doesn't believe her.
Yeah.
At his core, like he does not think that he is attractive. He does not think that he, I don't know, has like the worthiness to be with somebody, and I just don't think that he's ready for a relationship. I think he has a lot of potential, but he really needs to do some work on himself and his self-esteem because he would just get like steamrolled emotionally, I think. And then you just see him in his room just like kind of crashing out a little bit or just like crying because the person that he liked went on a date with someone else. And I was just like, oh, buddy, like it's not your fault. Like it's not everything that's like intrinsically wrong with you. But I think
Yeah.
he thinks it is.
Yeah. He's taking the rejection very personally, even though most people are not a match for each other. But he doesn't think about that. And he thinks like, oh, I did something wrong. It's me. I'm the problem.
He always assumes that. And I'm like, it's not even like, oh, I got rejected, I'm going to be like salty about it. Like he takes it so deeply to heart that I'm like, you can't survive the dating world like this.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So I really liked him. I think that he's like a total sweetie pie and he's very handsome. But I also just think that he needs to work on his like self-esteem, confidence, because like you can be shy, but he would like close in on himself, you know, if he felt like things weren't gonna go his way. And I was like, oh, my sweet baby boy.
What advice would you give him?
I mean, like it sounded like he got like counseling or therapy in like the 6 weeks or whatever. And I feel like continuing that is probably good exercise because it sounds like he grew up kind of in the shadow of his older brother. His parents were just kind of like, oh, I thought you were good and you're just not. Like, you know, so I feel like.
What? I thought you were good and you're not.
Wasn't he explaining that to the guys? They were like all in his room and he was just like, oh, every time that I got upset about something, he's like, my parents would be like, oh, I thought you were a good kid, but like clearly you're not. And he's just like, and I was like, that's like a hard home environment that he internalized. And now it's coming out in all of his relationships where he's just like, oh, I'm not good enough. There's so many things wrong with me. And like Hanju's over here just showering him with compliments.
Yeah, that's so true. And then it makes him feel like he can't trust her because he's not used to people just complimenting him all the time. So I wonder if he feels like, does she want something from me? Do I have to give this back? Like, I don't know how to deal with people just complimenting me because I'm not used to it.
And it's like, does she like me for me or does she think I just look like that actor she keeps saying? Or like, you know?
Like Won Lee.
Yeah. I was like, I need to look up this guy because
I looked him up actually. I was like,
how do you spell it?
I see a little bit of it. Okay, it's Lai Kwan Lin. Lai Kwan Lin. I see a little bit.
I think I'm with Suji. Said that. Just
like no way.
What are you on about? Like, I don't see this at all.
There's a little bit of resemblance. I mean, it's not there. I would imagine this is just us looking at pictures of this man, Lai Kwan Lin. Who knows what his personality is like? I can see the personalities being very different, and that's also what contributes to them not feeling the same because they have like very different vibes. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
But based on still pictures alone, I can see a little bit.
I just think the similarities begin and end with the haircut.
Okay, that's fair.
I think Inguk looks more like him.
Okay, yeah, that's fair to say. Okay, but going to the after service special, Hanju and Junwoo had a conversation. We find out that Hanju ended things with Junwoo through text, it seems. And she was like, yeah, and you didn't even ask why. And then Jinnu was like, oh, I kind of felt that it was coming. And also, that was a really hard text to read. And then he also said something like, it was not a polite brush off. He said that. So
Mm,
it made me feel like maybe Hanju's words, classic Hanju, were not filtered.
yeah,
And maybe she ended up sending a text that could be interpreted as way harsher. And
yeah.
also with someone like Jinu, who we just recapped
Who's like
is
ultra
someone,
sensitive.
yes, who is extremely sensitive to this kind of stuff. Of course, he's not going to engage with this kind of text. So, that was kind of the end of their relationship. But then we also found out from Hanju that the first time that they met up outside of the show, it was like a group setting. And then Hanju was basically saying, oh, I think it would be really awkward for the group if we ended badly. Like we couldn't hang out as a group anymore. So that's why I didn't want to do anything. And so she said that she came on the show because she tends to think about the ending before things have even started.
Yeah, yeah.
And even though she came on the show to kind of get around that, she's still doing it.
She's still doing it. Yeah. Yeah. I think overthinker, panic, and then word vomit without filter to a man who is not ready to be in a relationship because he doesn't love himself yet. And I was like, this is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it will, but I also feel like it was necessary.
It was necessary, and I think they both still care for each other quite a bit. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like Hanju, like, during the after service is, like, sitting next to him, and they're laughing, and they're joking back and forth. And I'm like, okay, like, at the very least, they left it as good friends. But I do think that this needed to happen, because this was, I don't think, a very solid start to a relationship. So,
Yeah. Do you think they're each other's the one that got away, but like the one that they're like, okay, going forward, I'm going to think about how things went wrong with this relationship and try to not apply it to my future relationships?
I think Jinwoo for sure. I hope Hanju has that kind of reflection. Cause like, I mean, like, she came into it knowing that she's just like, yeah, I'll drink too much and I'll just be a little aggro. And, I have a tendency to think about the ending before things even start. So it sounds like this is just kind of in pattern for her, but I'm hoping that because they did so much and it was such a interesting experiment that they did, that it sticks out in her mind a little bit more. But I think for Jinwoo it was probably quite formative experience.
I mean, I think the fact that Hanju was self-reflecting during that conversation with Jinu made
Yeah.
it seem like she would
Yeah.
self-reflect even more and take it into relationships going forward. Because it
Yeah.
also sounds like in her previous dating experience, she kind of texts people to cut it off and then never really has that post-mortem conversation afterwards.
I mean, I think we could just start out by also just like not ending things over text. I think a call would be better.
Okay, that's your advice to Hanju. Like, just
I feel
call
like,
them.
yeah, like, if this person likes you and you spent this much time with them, like, I think you owe a little bit more in kind of ending it.
Yeah.
So,
Someone else who I think was thinking about the ending before it even began was Jong-un. So Jong-un was the female game changer. She was also the Korean medicine doctor, and she is age 30. Um, and she was going out on dates with Junwoo a lot, and it seemed to be going pretty well. But then Jong-un was like, "Oh, I don't want to choose Junwoo because he's a student. And so logistically, it would be difficult for us to have a relationship. So that's why I'm not going to choose him." What did you
I
think of that?
I mean, I get it, but I'm also just like, what was the plan here then, right? Like, you knew that this is just a 9-day experiment. And I mean, I think it was great that they both had like those mutual feelings for each other and everything. But I also just don't think that I mean, like, she knew it was coming and that's why she didn't choose him. But it's also like, yeah, like, you take this relationship out of Jeju Village and put it in, wherever they live. Like, yeah, obviously there's going to be like logistical issues, and I just don't think that she liked him enough to try. Yeah. I think she was just like, yeah, like, we have a good time. They enjoy each other's company, but I just don't think that was enough to be like, we need to overcome totally different schedules, potentially totally different cities. And I get it. I don't fault her for it. But like, I wonder if she has put any thought into like what she would do differently. Like, would she try to get to know some of the other guys a little bit more? Because I don't know, like, what was her lesson learned coming out of this? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not really sure either what the lesson learned was. But I will say I agree with you, and I think the Cupids were saying this too, that if she had really, really liked him, she would have been like, okay,
we'll make it work. Let's try it.
Let's choose each other and let's see how it works in the real world. But she, I don't think was quite there. And so she was kind of making an excuse of like, okay, well, this wouldn't have worked anyway. So
like, if it was like a Love Island situation where they're there for like a month or something, then maybe. But I just genuinely think that she was just like, we're just not there yet for me to want to try. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So you think the show should take place over the course of a month instead of 9 days?
If it's going to be 30 episodes that are an hour and a half long, no. Because that I can't binge in a week. I can barely do this. Every time I came home, I was like, I have homework. Turns on Netflix.
Okay, last question. Do you think that Jinwoo should have remained true to Jonghoon in the end instead of switching to Hanju?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that he also kind of sensed that she was cooling on him because of the whole like university student sort of thing. And I think he just kind of latched on to someone who has very overtly expressed interest in him over and over throughout the course of the 9 days. And I mean, I don't fault him for that either. It's just I don't think there would have been any point in sticking with Jonghyun.
Yeah, that's fair. And also Hanju was so clear. She's like, look, buddy, I'm choosing you.
Yeah. She's just like, you're mine.
Yeah, honestly,
you're coming home with me.
Yes, it was really cool of her to do that. So yeah. I was a little sad to find out that they weren't dating in the end, and it doesn't seem like they will in the future.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was one of those situations where because his self-esteem is so low, he just kind of like fell into it, or was just like swept along for the ride. And I need him to do like a little bit more personal growth on himself. How are you going to love somebody else if you can't love yourself, sort of situation?
So true. So true. Love yourself first. Okay, anything else on Jinwoo, Hanju, and Jonghoon?
No, I mean, I did feel kind of bad for Hanju that there was nobody else who wanted to be her drinking buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because, like, I don't think it's inherently a bad thing that she enjoys drinking. I think it's just when it gets to the point where she's, like, too drunk and, like, being aggressive or, being messy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like it was framed in a way that it was just like, this is a huge vice or like ding against her personality. And I'm like,
it doesn't have to be.
Can't Koreans put it like soju away like crazy? Like,
yeah. I would have really loved to see Hanju and Sung Lee from season 1. I want to see them interact. Sung Lee was the Brazilian soccer player guy from season 1.
Yes.
He went on a date with Suji in the after service special.
Yes, that's right.
But I remember he was a big drinker. So I was like, Hanju, Sung Lee is still out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. I don't know about him and Suji. Okay, let's move on to the almost couple, Soo-hyun, Sung-hyun, and then our third guy, Tae-hoon. Soo-hyun is 28. She is a student of fine arts, university student. Sung-hyun is 30. He's a dentist. And Tae-hoon is 29. He was one of the game changers. And he is a university student of public policy. He was the one who dated someone in middle school, but like it was so long ago that everyone was like, that doesn't count. I don't know how long he dated that person for, but I think it was on the order of weeks. I don't think it was
I
that
think it was
long.
on the order of weeks, and his friends even said that they never even met up.
There you go. So over the course of the season, Soo-hyun and Tae-hoon were our blueberry couple because Tae-hoon would make her blueberry smoothies, and it was very cute. And they seemed to be a done deal by episode 8 or so.
Yeah.
And then something changed. So Soo-hyun basically started acting like they were a done deal, like a very official couple. And then Tae-hoon was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Things are moving too quickly for me. And then Sung-hyun, the dentist, started expressing interest in Soo-hyun, but it was a little bit too late. So by the end, Soo-hyun picked Tae-hoon, but Tae-hoon just forewent his decision. And then Sung-hyun picked Soo-hyun, but she obviously didn't show up because she was waiting for Tae-hoon. What a mess.
What a mess.
So question for you. Do you think that by Sung-hyun asking Tae-hoon for permission, in quotes, to start expressing interest in Soo-hyun, do you think that made Tae-hoon kind of back off and cool down on Soo-hyun?
I don't know, because we don't know exactly when that happened, right? Because I feel like Tae-hoon was kind of already cooling on her, and then it was like, oh, now there's this other potential like love interest. But I don't know. That whole triangle was very strange to me. Like, Tae-hoon just kind of seemed like a little bit of like a piece of shit to me. I was like, fuck this guy.
He was giving me incel vibes. I don't know if is that is that safe to say? I don't know. He just gave you those kind of vibes about like, oh, like I hate women, but also you guys should all want to date me. Like it was like that kind of vibe.
Kinda. I mean, like maybe in like a baby form. I feel like he doesn't know how to communicate properly ever to begin with. And then I think he is also very, very, very blasé about other people's feelings. I think he's too casual about saying like the most hurtful shit.
Agreed.
And I'm like, nope, don't like that.
Yeah, it was so rude. I think there were parts of it where obviously I was reading the subtitles. And so like there were parts of it where I was like, if someone said this to me in English, I would fuck them up. Like I would, that's so rude. But then like he would say that kind of stuff to Soo-hyun and then she would start laughing. And I was like, is there like some translation issue here? Like this is not something that I would laugh at, but maybe
did she think it was a joke?
Way. Yeah, like did she think it was a joke? Does it like mean something else in Korean the way that he said it, and so it doesn't directly translate? That's why it comes off as so rude in English. I don't know. It was so weird.
I just don't really understand like what his objective was coming into the experience, because when she was just like, oh, did you check your mailbox? And he was just like, no. And she's like, and he's like, I don't think I'm gonna go. I'm too lazy to go like twice or anything. And I was like,
oh my God,
what are you even doing here? Like, what do you think this is? This is a dating show for eternal singles, and you want to put in a big fat zero effort, and then you're gonna say all of this shit to Soo-hyun's face, and because she's latched onto you because you expressed interest, she also can probably do some work on the self-esteem side of things. That I'm like, I don't like this guy. I just don't like this guy. I think
really don't like that guy.
I think he's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think he just should have been way more straightforward, way more honest to Soo-hyun and been like, oh, I feel like we're rushing things, or
Yeah.
he just shouldn't have been so straightforward in the first place to be like, oh, like, you're my final decision. I'm absolutely choosing you. And then literally
Yeah.
less than 24 hours later, stop talking to me.
Like the emotional whiplash, like that right there is like that's not even breadcrumbing. That's like
Yeah.
smacking her with a baguette and then just snatching the baguette away the next day. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So weird.
Like, why would you say that to someone? Like, you are my pick. I'm looking at her. Or like, she's right here with me.
Yeah.
And then he decides, he's like, nah, I'm good.
I think what was also very frustrating was Soo-hyun's response to all of this.
Yeah.
So in the after service special, they all had to do first impression votes again. And Soo-hyun again voted for Taehoon as the first impression vote. Taehoon voted for Hyun-soo, which is so random. And then also, when they answered the question, is there anything that you regret or would have done differently? Soo-hyun was the only person who said she didn't regret anything. I
Yeah.
was like, Soo-hyun, I feel like you should regret something.
There's a couple of things that I think you should regret, baby girl.
Yeah. But I mean, I think like there's a part of me that's like, okay, Soo-hyun really has strong feelings for Taehoon. So maybe that's why she keeps picking him. But then at the same time, I'm like, if someone is so rude to you, to your face, stop liking them. Like, stop giving them parts of yourself.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
Yeah, 'cause
deserve it?
I also just don't think that there was any, like, I think in his mind, he was just like, okay, well, I'm done, wipe my hands, move on. Doesn't really care that, like, she still picked him for the final selection or whatever. I just don't understand, like, his whole, like, what was he doing there? What was he doing there? Because it's not like he tried to talk to any of the other women, or at least they
Yeah.
didn't show that in the edit or in the cut version. And I'm like, so what exactly was the point of you being here? What was the lesson he got? I'm not sure he got one.
Yeah, he just seems like a super immature guy who thinks that the best way to get to a woman's heart is to be mean to her. He's like 100% a negger.
He thinks that by negging a woman, that's how you trap her, you know?
And it unfortunately works, I think, for women who have less confidence, like
Exactly.
Soo-hyun, like
Exactly.
other eternal singles. Ugh.
Yeah, if he said that stuff to me face to face, I'd be like, fuck you. Like, so disrespectful directly to her. I all around don't like him at
Yeah,
all.
boo.
Probably the only single from the 2 seasons that I actively dislike.
Agreed. I think this guy is the biggest red flag.
Yes, huge red flag.
Do you think he redeemed himself in the after service special?
No.
I knew your answer, but I had to ask you anyway.
Fuck no. I think that he just kind of like put on enough charm to like sort of dodge the question a little bit. And then even when he apologized, he was just like, yeah, so I just want to, you know, I feel sorry, like, I'm sorry for making her feel that way. And I'm like, you should be apologizing to her, like, address her. It felt like he was apologizing for the rest of our sakes. And I'm like, you need to face the woman you're sitting next to and apologize directly to her.
And feel sorry. Feel remorse.
I was just like, fuck this guy even more. Like,
yeah.
They really found the, like, one absolute douchebag eternal single. And I was like, what is this guy even doing here? He's wasting all of our time.
Yeah. It really felt like he thinks that he is too cool to care about other people, which is so unattractive.
Incredibly unattractive. Yeah.
If you are an eternal single and you listen to us, first of all, great job. You're already on the way. You're already en route to understanding the mind of a woman. Second of all, caring about people is hot. Caring about people is very attractive.
Yeah, I just think he's just like a little bit too casual being as disrespectful as he is. Like, one of these days, one of these women is just gonna like fucking just slap him for some of the shit that he says.
And he deserves it. Yeah, and that was what he said at the beginning. Like, when he entered the villa, he was like, oh yeah, I've gotten into a couple of arguments with my female classmates about things, which should have already been a red flag.
That's already a red flag.
But seeing how he interacted with everyone, I was like, I'm surprised you haven't gotten in fist fights with people.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't like totally ostracized by like the rest of them, because I'm like, I get it. Like, he seems like a charming person, just like in conversation in the clips that they showed. But I'm like, this motherfucker should not be in a relationship. He should be the farthest thing. He should be in solitary. He should be he should actually be eternally single. until he can like turn this shit around. Like,
I think he needs to meet someone who he really, really, really likes and realize that she hates him.
I mean, even if he had a conversation with Hyun-so, who's very blunt, who's very direct, who just like calls it like she sees it, I'm like, even something like that. But I just feel like...
But I think that he does like her for that, because that's who he chose for the first impression vote. And also, I think he was negging her the whole time during the season.
Oh,
he was pretty mean to her. And then she was like, this guy's weird.
Yeah.
Like, why is he being so weird, like, mean to me? I don't even know this guy. So she just kind of ignored him. But that was him expressing interest in her.
See, the fact that I didn't even pick up on it as like him expressing interest, I was like, oh, this guy's just a dick. Like, the others, I understand. Like, sometimes they put their foot in their mouth because they have some like convoluted thought process. Like JCO, when he was just like, oh, I'll be your last date for today. And I was just like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, I kind of
empathy, bro.
Yeah, like, I was like, brother, you did not need to be the messenger for this. Even if she was, that's not for you to tell her.
Yeah. Okay, well, we should wrap up Soo-hyun and all them before moving on to Jae-soo. But last question. Should Soo-hyun have taken the letter back? So Soo-hyun wrote Taehoon a letter basically expressing her feelings and put it in the mailbox, and then told Taehoon multiple times, like, hey, by the way, I left you something in your mailbox. And he was like, oh, did you now? Okay. And then she went back like multiple times over the next 2 days and saw that the letter was still in his mailbox, and he did not take it.
I think she should have taken it. I mean, not that this asshole was ever going to go check it, but I mean, it could just stay in there and rotted. Because it's not like he was going to go looking for it. But I do think that, like, she can do better. She can do so much better. She is like so sweet. She's so chill. She's like a bubbly, energetic, positive person.
To not even read the letter is so
and to
garbage.
Tell her that he wasn't going to go. I'm just like, what are you doing here? Like, if you said that to me, I'd be like, literally, what are you doing on this show? Yeah. Like, you should just leave then.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to participate, leave. Someone else could have taken your spot. We could have gotten a better game changer.
And honestly, I think Soo-hyun and Sung-hyun make a really cute couple. I think she should have chosen him.
I absolutely love him. I think he is the cutest patootiest.
He is. Although, I think he also did you feel like he also got kind of an ego? Or like, I don't know, he definitely suffers from recency bias as well. Like every day he was like, oh, everyone's so pretty. This person's pretty. This person's pretty. So he was changing a little bit too.
I just don't think that he was like as actively sought after as some of the other guys. So it wasn't like maybe as noticeable. I mean, I think he's a cutie patootie. He's a dentist. He's like older. He's like very sweet. He's like kind of like giggly in like a nervous awkward sort of way. And I'm like, that to me is very endearing.
Yeah. I also loved how supportive he was during when Soo-hyun was doing the batting cage. Like he was clapping after every hit.
The other guy was just like, oh, I have to win.
So gross. Okay, well, I hope in the end that Soo-hyun chooses Sung-hyun, or at least finds the self-esteem and confidence to know that Taehoon does not deserve someone like her.
I mean, I think she knows that now, like since it's been a couple of months, but I also just feel like she needs to be able to
I don't think
recognize.
she does.
She doesn't?
She kept being like, oh, Taehoon is such a great guy. And during the dating IQ test when they were like, oh, which of these things is the worst? She didn't think that his thing was the worst. I was like, you are giving him too much grace, girl.
Way too much. I mean, I just want her to get to the point where she can recognize when someone is being like overtly disrespectful and negging her and, you know, realize that she can do better.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Moving on to someone else who needs to think about the other person just a little bit more. Jae-soo and So-yeon. Jae-soo, as a reminder, is a game developer. He works for Battlegrounds and he's a KAIST graduate. So KAIST is basically Korea's version of MIT. He is 32 years old. And So-yeon is 29 years old. She loves K-pop idols, specifically NCT Dream, and she works in sales. Jae-soo kind of reminds me of the stereotypical eternal single, or at least like the eternal singles that we know from college feel like Jae-soo a lot.
100%.
And I think his story made me the most emotional when he went on his monologue. I think it was the first time that all the girls chose guys that they wanted to go on a date with, and he was the only one who didn't go on a date with anyone.
It was the 2-on-1, and he never got chosen for any of them.
Yeah, so all the girls had to choose their top 1 and 2, and he was not in the top 1 and 2 for anyone. And so he just basically spent the entire day alone. And he had a monologue which I like really made me emotional because he was like, you know, I kept trying to optimize my life for success in a very stereotypical way. Like I wanted to go get the best grades. I wanted to go to the best school. I wanted to get the best job. I wanted to be the best person in my job. And so every time that I went on dates and I got rejected for one reason or another, I was always thinking like, oh, it's because I have spent all my time working and that's what is wrong with me. But now that I'm here where I'm not working and I can really just focus on dating, still nobody is choosing me. And not only that, whenever I did go on dates, people would be like, oh, it's because your outside appearance is different, or like the way that you dress is not great, or like your beard is too fuzzy, something about his external appearance, right? And then he went through this makeover period, changed all of that, got his hair dyed, went through like so many lengths to prove that it wasn't his habits or his external appearance. And still nobody was choosing him. And so he said that line that really made me tear up, which was, there's an error in the control variables, meaning that there's something wrong with me and my personality.
The common denominator.
Yeah. And he's like, and it's not only that, because it's something that I've kind of known all along, because all of the other people that I know who also went to KAIST, who also had a great job, who also worked a ton, they all got married and are now having children. And so it's not like I'm not the only one in this position, but somehow I am the only one who's still single. So like, it's definitely an issue with me and my personality. And I really, really teared up because I think that's not an easy thing to say and to admit to yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, you can tell that he like really believes that there is something like innately wrong with him after like going through this process and everything. I will say, I think that they did him a disservice with his makeover. I really liked the way he looked with the salt and pepper beard. I think if they cleaned that up a little bit, he would have looked so much more handsome. I think he would have gotten at least a lot more like initial kind of interest with the women. I also just think that what he really seemed to like was when people said technical things, like when she was like DB and he was just like, oh my God, she said DB. And I'm like, you need to find a woman in STEM who's just as fucking dweeby as you.
Yeah.
Because clearly you love that.
Yeah.
I think that he could have given himself a little bit of grace. Because, like, in that situation, yes, it does seem like, okay, all the other guys got chosen, and I was the only one who didn't get chosen. But this is just 6 women. This is just 6 women out of however many women are in Korea, you know? And I'm like, just because you didn't hit it off with any of them, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's like the fact that you're going on these dates, you're learning about them and their interests, they're learning about you and your interests. And like he gives off golden retriever vibes. Everyone loves a golden retriever.
Yeah. 100% agree, especially on the makeover side. I think also they gave him this makeup that was like really cakey looking. And I don't know, it was kind of weird. So I feel like he just like should have forewent all of that.
I think if they gave him like a trim in the hair and then a trim in the beard and then just left the salt and pepper.
Yes.
Because that just looks so much more like him. Like the
and
makeover,
he would have been more comfortable too.
He would have been more comfortable because the version of him that they did, they made him into the makeover. Like it seemed like somebody trying too hard.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like they said he was the only one who was getting a makeover regularly during the show because his grays were coming in so fast. And I'm like, that's not a problem.
Yeah, leave it. That's who he is. He's not going to get his hair dyed every single day in the real world.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like he kind of put in like an upfront deposit for a place and he's been getting his hair done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder how much he did just for the after service special.
Oh,
versus
probably.
Like doing it on a daily basis.
Weekly basis, yeah. He kind of broke my heart a little bit because I was just like, he seems like such a genuinely sweet guy who just wants a partner. And it doesn't even feel like someone like Taehoon who's just like, I don't know, I'm just doing it just to do it. Or Hyuk-Joon who's just like, oh, this is more for like me and my ego sort of thing. Like, I think he just genuinely wants a partner.
Yeah, he does. And I really liked how in the after service special, they said that Jae-seo and So-yeon went on a swan boat ride date thing after the show. So I was like, oh, that's cute.
That's cute.
I really ship them, but also I understand if it doesn't work out. But I don't think any of these two people are hopeless. I really feel like they will find love very soon.
I don't think they're hopeless. Like I said, he did have instances where he like put his foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't coming from a place of like bad intent or like maliciousness or wanting to hurt the other person. I think he overanalyzes the best way to be considerate. And in that way, he kind of like circles back into something that's like a little rude.
Yes, exactly.
And he's just like, no, I was trying to give her a warning. I'm like,
no. You gotta add a little bit more EQ and less IQ.
Yes. He has a lot on the IQ. The EQ definitely needed some work.
Yeah.
But
and as for So-yeon, honestly, I feel like for So-yeon, it's just a numbers game. She just has to go out on like 20 or so dates, and I'm sure she will find someone.
She will, I'm
She
sure.
just seems so mature, so put together. It feels like she knows what she wants, and she knows how to communicate. So I'm like, you may not have found someone that you're attracted to of the 6 men that were on this show, but I have complete faith in you.
Yeah, I agree. I do think the K-pop level of fandom she has is like a little bit on the extreme end. And like maybe that's something that like holds her, but I don't know. I feel like we just didn't get enough time with her to really like see anything. But I'm like, I'm sure she could find somebody who's just as enthusiastic or wants to go see these dream concerts or whatever.
Yeah. I think this show was really good for So-yeon because she seems like the type of person who's who's very much a homebody. Like she
Yes.
has her own interests and she loves doing her own interests and hobbies, but she's not that into like meeting other people or like
Yeah.
dating
Yeah.
necessarily. So she feels like the type of person that like if you want to date Soyeon, you have to knock on her door and be like, let's go out on a date.
Yeah,
Like that type
seriously.
of person.
She is a homebody for sure.
Yeah. So that's
So,
why not concerned about her, and I actually think the show's exposure was probably very good for her.
I mean, she does seem like she could be so many Korean men's like ideal type because she's like
Yeah.
itty bitty and cute as a button, and she's just like total sweetie pie.
Yeah.
So,
And as for Jaso, I actually hope that he goes out on a date with Yido from season 1. Remember our pink-haired
oh,
lady?
yes, my bubblegum princess.
Bubblegum princess. Yes, I have a high confidence in that relationship. I actually really hope that it works out for them.
I think they would be absolutely adorable together.
Agreed. They have that kind of deep esoteric knowledge that they need each other.
I do feel though these like weird avatar blind date things. I was like, I don't know if that helps any of these potential because like I thought that if they did try to like do blind dates with season 1 and season 2 people, like maybe there could be something just like people who are coming from the same sort of background and experience, they're eternal singles, they went through the 10 days, like maybe there could be something there. But I'm like, why the fuck are we in their ear in the earpiece telling them to touch his eyebrows? Like, ask if he can call her mom. I was like, this is so dumb.
I really disliked those episodes. I wish that they could have just gone on a normal blind date. I don't know why it had to be an avatar blind date where they had to say weird stuff. I think in some instances it broke the ice, but in others I was like, why are you sabotaging this relationship already? Like this could have actually been something, and now you've just made it weird.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just felt like they treated that episode like a comedy show. And they said that. They're
Yeah.
like, she's like, why can't you just be normal? And I'm like, you're also doing like strange shit. So,
Yeah, that was one thing that I just like really didn't like. I hope that they scrap that in the future and they just do normal blind dates.
I want to bring back people's favorites from season 1. Do so, but just do like a normal blind date.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, our last pair of people, Suji and Junghyun. So Suji was the game changer. She's a potter. She is 26. She lived in the UK for some times, and so she speaks British English, which is very lovely to hear. And then we also have Junghyun. Junghyun is 26. He is a business student and he's very quiet and introspective and plays the piano really well.
Yeah, really well.
So question. In the end, both Suji and Junghyun decided to give up their final decision and they just went home alone. But they had a pretty good ramp up period over the course of the series. Why do you think Suji ultimately wavered in her feelings for Junghyun?
I think that the basis from her side was that he is like her type. I think in like physical appearance and like I guess just like how he is. But I also kind of wonder if she was like through this experience I had a chance to talk to so many guys who maybe aren't and it was also as interesting and so maybe she was like it's like the ideal type got his foot in the door, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't quite enough to like get them all the way through. I guess I don't know, but she also was another one who was like getting attention from all sides. So I also just feel like he didn't quite put himself out there enough to
Yeah.
like continue kind of getting her attention throughout the 9 days.
I agree with that, but I will say I think Suji really gave a master class in how to deal with multiple people glomming you. She was so straightforward with the communication, being like, I don't like you. I'm sorry. It's just never going to get there, but I appreciate you and I'm really grateful for your feelings. And she did that in
Yeah.
a really kind, empathetic way.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. I mean, she was, yeah, like you said, she was very empathetic. She was very clear in her communication. And it wasn't even like, she said this to Jung-yoon and he decided to do a final decision and got left. Like, he was like, okay, like, that's it. That's fine.
Yeah. And then personally, I just don't think they were a match. I personally think that Jung-yeon wasn't a match for Suji because he wanted someone who would take the lead and be okay with taking the lead, which is what we saw in the Avatar blind date, actually.
Yeah.
The banter that he had with Minhong.
Yeah.
And I don't think Suji wanted that. She wanted someone who could take the lead at least sometimes. I think that's why she appreciated Hyuk-Joon, because Hyuk-Joon was definitely carrying a lot of the conversation. And that's the rapport that she wanted, and she wasn't getting that from Jung-yeon.
Yeah, and I also just feel like her personality lends itself more to like the banter, like the witty back and forth. And I just feel like Jung-yoon is very like reserved and like,
Yeah.
he's
He's a
not as
quiet
like
boy.
yeah, he's not as like forthcoming with that. And I
Yeah.
feel like she was maybe looking for more of like a partner that she could, they could have a good time together.
Yeah.
Not that she didn't with him. It was just, I think he's just much more like, they say hello and they sit down and then he's just like,
Yeah. I was like, do you not have anything to say?
hey, how are you? How's your day going so far? Nothing. Just
like, smile and nod.
Oh my god, the clip that they showed when they were doing like the practice blind dates in his like 6-week prep and then the 1st one, and like the woman sits down and he's so stressed. He's just like,
oh my god, I know. I was like, oh baby.
To be honest, sometimes I get like, he's so sweet, but sometimes I just get a little annoyed. I'm just like, it's just a person. It's just a human. They just happen to be female. Like, just talk to them like a human person. Like, it's not that deep.
I mean, I think some of this is part of Korean culture, because I do think a lot of schools in Korea are like all girls schools or all boys schools.
Mm-hmm.
So they really haven't had a lot of chance to interact, be in a co-ed type situations and make friends with the opposite sex. So for a lot of people, this is their first real interaction, and it feels like a really like high stakes interaction.
Because it seems like they were very quick to be like, oh, I see this person as a friend. And it's like, do you have a lot of friends of the opposite sex? Like, is kind of like starting out with a friendship a bad thing? I don't know, because it kind of feels like they immediately want like the butterflies.
Yeah.
Like off the jump. And I'm like, well, you just don't know enough about this person. But I don't know. Yeah, because I like for some of these, I think they just kind of fall. The mindset is like, women are this way and men are this way, and I'm a dude, so I know how to interact with dudes. But like talking to women is like talking to a different species, and I'm like, it's really not.
It's really not.
It's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this experience is good because now they do have friends of the opposite gender, and like the after service where they're answering questions with the whiteboards and everything. Like, I feel like that was good for them to be like, oh, I put answer 4, but the women are saying it was actually 1 because XYZ, and they're like, oh.
Yeah. I have a lot of dating IQ. I have a mini dating IQ test for us to take at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for that. It's an abridged version. But yeah, going back to Suji and Jung-yeon, do you think that Suji did have feelings for Hyuk-Joon in the end? And that's why her feelings wavered.
So, I think, yeah, because I think that they were kind of in very similar situations, so they could like relate to each other quite a bit. And they both have the sort of personality that lends itself to like the fun back and forth sort of thing. And like you said, she doesn't want to be taking the lead 100% of the time. And like the fact that he did that as well. So I'm like, I kind of feel like there was, or at least there was like a curiosity to know more.
Yeah.
And then he just decided to be like, Hyun-So is my number one gal.
Yep. Yep. And then we also found out in the after service episode that Suji hung out with Sunghyun
Yeah.
and they had a good time. And Sunghyun had a great time.
I thought that was a little overhyped though, because it sounded like she was just there with her family and was like, he lives here. Let me just go say hi.
Yeah, I think so too. It seemed like they gave more friend vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you ship for Suji? Junghyun, Hyuk-Joon, Sunghyun, or her avatar blind date Sunglee?
I kind of like the Sunglee idea.
Me too.
Right? Because I think it's also the fact that like they've lived elsewhere, they're like
Yeah.
well traveled. I feel like there's a lot that they can find like common background on. Also, I just don't think I love her with any of these men from season 2.
Yeah, and he seems to be more straightforward than any of the men from season 2.
Yeah.
Very different vibe, as she said.
Yes.
Out of all the Avatar blind date couples, let me remind you who they were. There was Han Soo-ji with Kim Sung-lee.
Mm-hmm.
They exchanged numbers at the end. There was Jae-so and Yi-do, Princess Bubblegum.
I love them.
There was Jung-yeon and Min-hong, who also exchanged numbers at the end, very aggressively, might I add. And then there was Sung-hyun and Jisoo, the dentist and the popular girl from season 1. Out of those 4 couples from the Avatar blind dates, who do you think has the highest confidence that they will make it?
Oh, maybe Suji and Sunglee. Yeah, I can see that working out.
I feel like Jae-so and Yi-do have the highest confidence for me.
I mean, I would hope so. I just don't know if he's like her type from what I'm remembering from season 1, but maybe there's been a lot of growth in the last year.
I think so. I feel like Jae-so came across as really mature. So
yeah,
I ship them.
Yeah. I just feel like when he wants to get like super technical and stuff, she's gonna be like like I feel like Jae-so needs like a gamer girl. Like someone who will
I feel like Yi-do is a gamer girl.
Is she?
She knew Battlegrounds. She played Battlegrounds.
That's true. Okay, maybe them then.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's shift gears to do our own after service special. Okay, if you were to do a seminar on dating, like No Jae-yun from season 1, who you'll remember was the person who dived in the bushes.
We need to process him telling guys to bring out maternal instinct. I was like, I really hope that's a joke.
There were some things that I felt it was really good advice, but then some that I was just like, what do you mean take her to a buffet? Because it has the widest selection of food.
Also, like, make her feel sorry for you and want to take care of you. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And also pretend that you're really thinking hard about it so that she will feel bad for you. And then you don't actually have to say what you're sorry for. I was like...
Yeah, I really hope that none of them took that to heart, because that's terrible advice.
Yeah. But what I did like was he was like, if you're in a fight, the first thing that you do is you apologize. Yeah. He's like, similar to if your house is on fire, you don't run around trying to catch the person who set your house on fire. You put the fire out first. I was like, that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, that's like pretty solid. Yeah.
Pretty solid advice. De-escalate first.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to this group of people in season 2?
I mean, I don't think any of them had an issue with this in season 2, but like just being yourself and not kind of like putting on a show. But I think it's also just having that self-esteem that you are worthy of finding a partner and love yourself. How are you going to like love somebody if you don't love yourself? Because I feel like they're all coming from a place of like, what's wrong with me? I've been single, blah, blah, blah. And I think the first thing is just being like, hey, it's, nah, none of that,
Yeah.
you know? And then the next thing I would say is like, everybody here is an eternal single. No one truly has an advantage. And remember that whatever you're feeling, others are probably also feeling. So if you feel like you need more reassurance from your partner, then like maybe like your partner also needs that reassurance so there's not these like miscommunications. Because even the
Yeah.
Cupids were saying, they were just like, oh, I had a list of like things that they were like, classic Eternals move. They want something, but they feel too much pressure once they have it. They get attached quickly and they need constant reassurance.
Yes.
So I'd probably say, like, spend the first few days getting to know everybody. Like, I think that they should have done the rotation dates. Like, was that like day 2?
I think it was day 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Basically, they just need to have a chance to talk to everybody
Yeah.
one-on-one, maybe for more than like 10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes is so short.
Maybe do like a half hour or something. There's plenty of snacks.
But then half hour times 6 people is 3 hours. Just like talking for 3 hours. Seems
I
like a
mean, I
lot.
guess, but that's what they're there for. I mean, they
Yeah, I see your point.
literally did the 2-on-1 dates where some of the people were going on 4 dates. Their schedule is, if you're picked, your schedule is jam-packed, clearly.
Yeah, that's true.
And those dates didn't seem short either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think my advice to the folks in season 2 would be to be honest with your feelings. I think
Yeah.
that helps with a lot of misunderstandings on both sides. And I think it's important to voice your feelings to also know how you yourself feel. I think a lot of these eternal singles were really concerned about what other people thought of them, which makes sense if you're interested in someone, you want them to like you and everything. But then I don't think they questioned
Like,
how
what
do
do
I
I want?
feel? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, how do I feel about this person instead of I want this person to like me. It's just like, do you want that person to like you because that feels good for your ego on a show like this? Or do you want that person to like you because you like them?
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a little bit more critical thinking there. Just like be honest about how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay, second question for you in your Poonim dating seminar. What advice would you give to yourself before you started dating?
Oh. I think it would be like, have the self-respect to know when somebody is disrespecting you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in some of my prior relationships, it's like there's things looking back that I'm like, that's very clearly a red flag. This is very clear an indicator that they did not care or they were not interested. And like that should have been like it. So I think that would probably be the advice that I would give myself, knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, having the self-respect to know like when I deserve better in a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. I think in a similar vein, it would be don't take rejection personally.
Yeah.
Like obviously look to grow and like self-improve always, but again, most people aren't a match. And so
Yeah.
if you're honest with yourself, if you have high self-confidence, and if you love yourself and someone's not matching your energy, that's on them. It's not on you.
That's natural. There's billions of people that are all going to be different. So
Yeah.
I do wish, though, sorry, going back to your first question, the one other thing I would say is if there's somebody that you want to talk to, like, don't wait for a date to just fall in your lap. Like, I think by the end, they had more gumption about being like, hey, like, can we chat really fast? Like, I think they should just feel encouraged to do that,
Be
from the jump.
proactive.
Yeah, like, just be proactive, because they're just like, oh, I was always interested in you, but we never had a chance to talk. And I'm just like, listen, I understand their schedule seemed very busy in these 10 days. But I'm like, you're eating breakfast. You can be like, hey, can we just like chat really fast before we all split up for whatever?
Yeah.
Make use of the post office. I'm glad by the end they were more into the writing letters and the
Yeah.
gift giving.
Use your coupons, man. What are you saving them up for? They have no monetary value.
Exactly. What are you saving them up for?
Okay, another question. Who do you see yourself in the most out of all the people in season 2? And has that changed too before you started dating to now?
I mean, I think in terms of like personality, maybe Suji. But in terms of just like mannerisms, maybe Hyun-So. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty direct to the point sort of person. I don't think that's really changed. Kind of feel like I've always been that way.
I think before I started dating, I actually saw a lot of myself in Soo-hyun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see that. Maybe me, before dating Soo-hyun. Yeah.
But now, I think I resonate the most with Hanju.
Oh, yeah. Hanju's so funny.
I think I just really admire how Hanju is so straightforward about her feelings.
And she wasn't like shy about it. Yeah.
And she didn't take things personally. Like she was bummed that Jinwoo didn't seem to reciprocate her feelings, of course, but she wasn't like, it's all my fault, like I did something wrong.
Yeah. I feel like aspire to be like Hanju.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. For our final segment, are you ready to take the dating IQ test?
No, but let's do it.
Okay, they're just basically the same questions from the after service special, but I want to hear your take on it.
Okay.
So, okay. Rank from worst to best these 6 situations from the men's side, from most egregious to least egregious. Number 1, oversharing info that may hurt someone's feelings. Number 2, always asking for a woman's opinion and being passive. Number 3, ignoring a letter from a woman even though she told you about it multiple times. Number 4, thinking a relationship is fate, but then still going on dates with other women. Number 5, giving away a matching couple item to someone else. Or number 6, going on a date with another woman than the woman who likes you. I'm asking you for ranking because in this show they asked about just which is the worst, and I feel like that did not do justice to these options.
These are pretty bad. I kind of feel like maybe it's thinking a relationship is fate but still going on dates with other women. And then ignoring a letter from a woman even though she told you about it multiple times. Because I feel like that just shows like just straight up disrespect. Like, if she's going to tell you something and you're just going to ignore her, like, that's rude. Very disrespectful. I mean, going on a date with another woman than the woman who likes you is kind of similar to 1. I feel like I would clump that in with 1.
So you think both of these are 1?
I mean, kind of, yeah. They're very related, right? Just like going on dates with other women.
I don't think they're that related. I think in the first one, you're like, you and me, we're fated, baby. And then you're like going on dates with someone else versus the going on a date with another woman is just like, I haven't committed to you. You just like me, but I want to go on a date with this other person.
I would say then oversharing info that may hurt someone's feelings
is number 3.
Yeah. And then always asking for a woman's opinion and being passive. Then the giving away a matching couple item to someone else. Or maybe going on a date with another woman, the woman who likes you. I mean, if you don't like her back, then you would go on a date with someone else anyways, right? So like that kind of just makes sense to me. Yeah, I think, That would be my ranking, I think.
Your final ranking is the most egregious is thinking a relationship is fate, but then still going on dates with other women. Number 2 is ignoring a letter from a woman even though she told you about it multiple times. Number 3 is oversharing info that may hurt someone's feelings. Number 4 is always asking for a woman's opinion and being passive. Number 5 is giving away a matching couple item to someone else. And number 6 is going on a date with another woman who likes you.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the only thing that I would change is I think giving away a matching couple item to someone else, I would actually put that as number 2.
Oh, okay.
And I think the worst one would be ignoring a letter.
Yeah. I think, like, because one is, like, love bombing. Two is just being, like, straight up disrespectful. So, like, all of these are just bad.
Yeah, they're bad. But we're agreed that the least egregious one is going on a date with another woman than
Yeah,
the
like,
woman
the
who likes
matching
you.
couple
That's
item
fine.
is, the matching couple item is inconsiderate, but it's
Yeah.
not like, yeah.
I think it's
So-
mean. I think if I had a matching couple item with honestly anyone, even though it wasn't my partner, and then they just gave it away, I would be like, oh, so that experience meant nothing to you? So I mean nothing to you? Like, if we went and did some kind of class where they gave us matching orange hats or something, and then you gave yours away, I would be so pissed at you. I would be like,
that's
you
fair.
hate me.
That's fair, but I also kind of think that they're a little bit of dumbasses where they're just like, oh, she's cold. I have a hat. Let me just give her my hat. And I'd be like, you're just stupid.
Yeah, but I would say something like, oh, you can have this hat because you're cold, but I would like it back. I would say something like that.
Do you want to borrow my hat?
Yeah, do you want to borrow it? Not just be like,
Yeah.
hey, have this.
Stupid.
Okay, next question. Same thing. Rank from worst to best. Number 1, continuing to drink even though you're already pretty drunk. Giving gifts to 2 men at the same time. Ordering someone to mind their behavior during the talking stage. Demanding smoothies continuously. And going on a date with someone even though you promised to talk to someone else later, therefore breaking your promise. And then lastly, wanting to date but spending all of your time chatting with the other woman instead.
I think going on a date with someone even though you promised to talk to someone else later.
Agreed.
Then I would say ordering someone to mind their behavior during the talking stage.
Agreed.
Then I would say, I don't know, the rest don't seem all that, like, the rest seem more, like, innocuous to me. So maybe, like, giving gifts to 2 men at the same time, continuing to drink, and then the smoothies.
Yeah. I feel like the men's mistakes
They were just
like
so much
way
worse.
Just all of them were 1 through 6, and then all of the women's were 6 through 12. If we had to rank them all together.
Oh, agreed.
Okay, next question. Let's say you have a really pretty friend that your fiance is meeting for the first time, and then later you say, oh, wasn't my friend really pretty? How would you want him to respond?
I would not even ask that question.
Yeah.
Like, let's be so fucking for real. I don't think I'm that insecure that I would ask that question.
But let's just say like, you're like, oh yeah, like she's so pretty. What would you want him to say after that? Or what would you expect him to say after that?
I think he'd just be like, uh-huh, in like a very like disinterested way.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want him to be like, yeah, but you're so much prettier, babe.
Be like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I agree. I think I also was like, how would I want my boyfriend to respond? And then I was like, I just wouldn't set him up like that to begin with. If I was going to have a negative response like that.
It feels like setting them up for failure. Like, I wouldn't ask it to begin with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, next question. This is actually one that I'm the most interested in.
Okay.
In which of these 2 situations is the guy least interested in you? Scenario 1, he never reaches out to you first. You're always the one initiating and texting and starting the conversation. Or scenario 2, a guy who wants to set you up on a blind date.
Someone who wants to set me up on a blind date. He's basically saying date someone else.
That's exactly what I thought too. So apparently when they asked this question in the after service special, they said that scenario 1 was the correct answer and that this person is the least interested in you. And I was like, scenario 2, the guy has made it very clear that he doesn't want to date me.
Okay, because, like, granted, again, past relationships, lessons learned. I did date somebody who I was always the first one to reach out. I always initiated. But once I did, it was like the conversation was flowing. We had a good time. It was fine. but like, and like, did it bother me that I was initiated? Like, kind of a little bit, but it wasn't like, but if he was like, I'm gonna set you up with my buddy, I would feel like, what the
like, wait, what?
I don't understand why they thought it was the other one.
Yeah, I also thought it was super interesting because I feel like in Korean culture, and especially this season of Better Late Than Single, I felt like we saw a lot of passive guys who were naturally passive and wanted someone to take the conversation and lead them. Very similar to how Jungyeon had a great time in his conversation with Minhong because she did all of the heavy lifting in the conversation. And he was like, it was great. I loved it. It was a great date for me.
Of course they had a great time.
Yeah, so that was like, okay, so if Jungyeon had a great date because Minhong was the one leading the conversation and continuously asking him questions, made it super clear that she wanted his number, then like, if I just assumed that Jungyeon would never be the one reaching out to Minhong first, but he's still obviously interested.
Yeah.
So why is that the right answer? As someone who's least interested, I like did not understand that at all.
That doesn't add up to me.
Okay. Maybe this is an American versus Korean culture thing. Any other Korean yappers who can give us insight on this, please let us know. But I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's obviously the person who wants me to date someone else. Oh, okay. Last question for the dating IQ test. Let's say you're in a situationship where you have gone on multiple dates with this guy for about a month, and you even hold hands on your dates. How do you get him to admit your feelings, which is the Korean way of asking, how do you start the conversation to DTR, define the relationship?
Oh, I mean, I think I did this with Michael. I think I was just like, hey, what are we?
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, straight up. Like, are we exclusive? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I like the old-fashioned, so what are we doing here? What is this?
What would you say you do here?
That being said, I really liked Soyeon's response to this, which is, why are we holding hands?
Yeah. Get the fuck off of me. Let
If
go.
you're not my boyfriend, why are we holding hands?
I thought that was so funny, though, because I feel like holding hands is like, that seems to be like the pinnacle of relationship, which was so funny, too, because I think at one point, Hyun-Joon had like held his hand out for someone, pulled it, and Suji didn't or something. And then I think it was Car the Guard, and he was like, what is this? Singles Inferno? They almost held hands.
I feel like we said this in season 1 too, but I really dislike Car the Garden as a Cupid.
He's a terrible mentor.
He's a terrible Cupid. He's just there to optimize for comedy.
Yes.
Which is like, yes, I know that this is a TV show and it's entertainment, but like, is the vision of the show that the people who you are putting on this show actually find love and are set up for success? Or is it to make people laugh? Because those are two different things.
The laughs are going to come, as we've seen throughout the season. I don't think that your advice to someone who's never dated before is to give them like cheesy one-liners.
Yeah. Or just keep the commentators separate from the people who actually help them.
Exactly. Like have like the Cupid and be like, hey, this is blah, 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 a dating expert. And then like have them work on whatever they need to work on.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely like practical advice that he could have given his mentees or whatever. Talk about the stuff that's actually going to be more important for getting into a relationship or forming a connection with someone.
Exactly. All right. Last question before we move on to ratings. Who do you have the most hope for out of our pool of eternal singles in season 2?
Oh, I mean, I think they'll all be fine. I mean, minus Taehoon. He can get fucked.
Okay, everyone except Taehoon.
He can get fucked. I mean, I think Jinwoo has a lot more work he needs to do. I think Suji she's got the personality, she's got the looks. I think she would probably be the first to be snapped up after this airs. I mean, I guess it's already aired, but yeah, I'm not really worried about any of them.
I feel the most confident about Soyeon, actually. Yeah, just feel like she's got it on lock. And she also didn't have that much drama around her.
Well, I mean, she didn't have drama around her because she wasn't really into anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if there was an opportunity for them to like rotate people out, like if this was a longer experience, I think it could be like, oh, at the end of week 1, if you don't have any meaningful connection, like a Love Island format or something, then like, maybe hot new single enters the villa sort of situation. Because I feel like we just don't know that much about her because we just never saw her in action.
Yeah, that's true. But I did like all of her responses during the after service special. I feel like all of her responses were really funny and also very thoughtful.
Yeah, I would agree.
Whew, okay, we've been chatting. We've been yapping. Ratings. What would you rank this show out of 5? Quality and enjoyment.
Quality, I would say 4, because I just have notes on the format of the show a little bit. Like, Car the Garden, I understand the comedy part to make it entertaining, but like actually give your people something useful. I do think that some of the days were so jam-packed that they would just be too tired to like try to seek people out. So like in certain aspects like that. Otherwise, quality I think was pretty good. Enjoyment, I'd say maybe a 5. I still really enjoy the fact that they bring in people who are like, they're not there for clout, they're not there for TikTok followers. They're really there just to like learn about themselves, learn how to date, maybe find somebody. And they're also genuine. Minus Taehoon, he can get fucked.
Yeah. 100% agree. 4 out of 5 for quality, 5 out of 5 for enjoyment. I was itching to watch the next episodes literally as soon as they dropped. Yeah. I would watch these episodes before the shows that we actually had to watch and then record an episode for, like the ultimatum. I was like, I need to watch Better Late Than Single first.
I think my only frustration was just like how long the episodes are. Because if they had a date situation, we went to every single couple and we got them staring out in silence. We got them making small talk about the weather. And I'm like, this can be cut in a way that's a little bit quicker.
Yeah, there were a lot of awkward pauses. And I would say, I think that the format of the show, I would love to see a longer one. And I like your idea of rotating out people if they just weren't attracted to anyone. I will say this again. We said it last time. I'll say it again. Replace Car the Garden, please. Like, you can have him be a commentator, but do not have him be a Cupid.
Terrible Cupid. Terrible Cupid.
Terrible.
Like, yeah, I think that's something that they could definitely easily resolve for the next season.
And I will also say Avatar blind dates, not important.
Don't love those. Don't love those. I didn't super love the 2-on-1 format because I feel like it was just trying to instigate conflict. And these are very like conflict averse people.
Yeah.
And the end result was in a lot of these, someone just third wheeling. And I feel like it was uncomfortable for them. It was uncomfortable for the audience to watch. And I don't think it was really productive for any of the couples.
Yeah, agreed.
But also, the way that they had them sat was like
so
on either
weird.
side or like in an interview format. And I was like,
or like, like all 3 of them on one side. I was like, what is happening? What is this weird seating situation?
And I'm like, this is the sort of thing, if you're going to do a 2-on-1, have an activity where people are like moving around, like a cooking class or something, where it's just like you're constantly crossing paths with both people and it's less awkward because you're not just like staring and like, oh my God, there's another dude, she's interested right next to me.
Yeah.
Like it just felt so like
help
stilted.
these poor eternal singles.
Yeah, like give them something. I mean, even if you weren't eternal single and you'd have a 2-on-1,
it would be awkward.
Like how many seasons of there are there The Bachelor and The Bachelorette when they do like 2-on-1 dates, and it's like there's so much drama because they aren't conflict averse at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll get all up in each other's mess.
I don't know if we have time for the whole binge in progress. So how about we'll just leave it with this final question. For people who really loved Better Late Than Single season 2, which of our BYR shows would you recommend.
I mean, I feel like you guys have done a lot of episodes on Love is Blind and The Ultimatum, so maybe you would like something like that. I do feel like this is kind of a different variety of dating reality show because they are so like inexperienced and pure.
I would say Singles Inferno. Although,
Singles Inferno.
Yeah. I would say Singles Inferno.
I mean, for the Korean, yes. For the pureness of heart, I'm not so sure.
Love on the Spectrum.
Love on the Spectrum. Excellent. Yes, that is an excellent one.
Really only the reality show aspect. The Ultimatum.
The Ultimatum. Or many of the murder docuseries that
Oh my God.
covered. And if you like Scotland, Department Q.
If you liked Suji's British accent, you should watch Bridgerton season 4.
All right, I think we need to be done.
All right, well, we'll just stop there.
Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at Binge Yap Repeat.
Until next time, happy binging!